May I come in, sir?
Please come, Anupam.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Please sit down.
Morning, sir. Morning, ma'am. Morning, sir.
Good morning. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So, Anupam, we'll like to have your brief introduction.
Sir, my full name is ANUPAM Singh. I have been born and brought up in Delhi. I have done my graduation from IIT Delhi from the program of Production and Industrial Engineering. This is my second attempt at UPSC, my first interview. My hobbies include playing badminton and doing strength training.
So, Anupam, from technocrat to a bureaucrat,
Yes, sir.
what attracts you?
So the multiple things are inherent that have attracted me and motivated me to pursue this service. Firstly, the idea of paying back to the society has been grained into my mind since my childhood. My father has always suggested me to look for services or revenues where you can contribute back to the society. And also, it is from a personal perspective also, I find this job mentally stimulating because it will bring a lot of challenges and hence it would be better for my personal growth also.
So, tell me, so many IITians are wanting to get into civil services. Is it because IITs have lost its sheen or the civil services has become more attractive?
Sir, more number of IITians are looking for avenues because IITs, as they were when they were instituted and were formed, the core idea was to bring more researchers and more people who could bring more research papers so that the contribution into the society could be strengthened. However, considering the current times, we have to look at multiple programs. So the BTech students, they see that they are currently not able to bring out much more research and development, and hence they see a civil service as another opportunity.
There are many youngsters who see that civil services is not our cup of tea, and we have money in IIT, and becoming a technocrat is far rewarding in terms of money, in terms of good quality life compared to bureaucrats who are always and to work under politicians. So there, why this dichotomy? Is civil services a better career?
So they also see avenues of growth in terms of multiple sectors. So a startup that could be started by a graduate, it could scale up and become a full-fledged company, and he could be contributing by being a job provider. So he also sees.
Okay. Anupam, you're from Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Delhi government has just recently launched a rooftop solar panel policy.
Yes, sir.
Can you throw some light on this? What are the highlights of this policy?
So the Delhi Solar Policy 2024 has recently been launched by the Honorable Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal ji. The core idea is to promote that the people also start installing solar at their residential houses. So 2,000 rupees per kilowatt hour subsidy, capital subsidy is being provided by the government, and the government targets to scale this up because of multiple challenges. Firstly, the pollution challenge, because so many thermal plants are the primary drivers of Delhi's electricity demand.
What will be the motivation? You're fine, absolutely fine. What is the motivation for an individual household to put up a solar rooftop panel in this policy?
So firstly, the government is giving the subsidy, so that becomes the first incentive. Secondly, whatever excessive electricity that the households will produce, it will be integrated towards the electricity grid, and they will be remunerated back for their production. So this could be
good. You are a sports person, as I see. Lots of you've represented at many levels. Now tell me, 2036 Olympics, suppose if we are having Olympics in India, as a sports, lover and maybe knowing a lot about sports, what sports in India we should develop in the next, say, 12 years to get most number of medals, medal-centric sports?
Sir, certain sports I've still not been able to gain the limelight, which from a personal analysis could be firstly the sport of slacklining, wherein people try to walk on a very tight and difficult rope. So there is a lot of...
Don't explain, just mention the names.
I'm sorry, sir. So slacklining, then there is kabaddi, then the idea of the stone games that we try to play at the local level, and then so these are the sports that come.
So basically you have mentioned the sports which can be additionally done.
Yes, sir.
Not the ones where we need to consolidate further.
Right, sir. Sir, I believe that the government is taking adequate steps, because recently the sports budget was also increased to a massive amount, highest ever. So,
no, I'm asking your views, not what government is doing.
Sir, I believe currently we are doing adequately well, considering the
Thank you,
performance.
Anupam. Let's hear the member.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Anupam,
Yes, sir.
Delhi's position is so unique. It is a union territory with a legislature, with some of the entries in the state list is with the union. Whether all this is leading to problems in Delhi, more development could have happened if Delhi is a full state. What's your view on this?
Sir, there are both sides. Full statehood would definitely bring more autonomy to the state government. However, considering the strategic location of Delhi, which houses the critical infrastructure such as the parliament, the Supreme Court, so it is also necessary that some level of central control is there also.
What is the position vis-a-vis other state capitals in other countries? How they are in comparison to Delhi? In the sense they enjoy larger autonomy, or they enjoy similar kind of a difficulty?
Sir, from what I can recollect is most of the capitals are into the similar dilemma only. A famous case of Washington DC had occurred recently, but I'm not able to recollect the exact political
Insofar as services is concerned, generally it is with the state governments. But in the case of Delhi, now we have a new act. What is the current position, what the act says, where the matter is pending? Can you just throw some light?
Sir, recently the central government enacted the Delhi Civil Services Authority. So under that, all the civil servants that are posted, all Group A civil service and Group B civil services, are now under the control of the Lieutenant Governor of the Delhi. So this is currently being opposed by the elected government, and the matter is currently under the Supreme Court.
So what do you think about this freebies, like free bus ride, free electricity up to 200 units? Is it a necessary evil, or it is giving targeted beneficiary to some? How do you see it? Is it taking a toll on our economic development?
So firstly, certainly the government has to bear certain expenses. Secondly, the reports over the course of time have suggested that now the people do not have to worry about the basic necessities such as the food and the electricity, and hence they can be shifted much more towards the areas of where they can try to develop themselves.
So it is absolutely desirable for everybody. It should be universal according to you.
Sir, these are universal facilities and the Scandinavian countries do provide these. However, they charge a lot of money on the other taxpayers. And considering India's economic position currently, these schemes could have been tweaked a little more in a better manner to reduce the excessive overburdening. And there could be a little better targeting, so that even the rich can be excluded from the schemes, at least for the current state.
Anupam, the ICJ has given a ruling, interim ruling, and it is non-binding in nature, but it has certain moral persuasive value. How do you see this ruling? What are the interim rulings of ICJ, and what implication it will have on Israel, and whether it will allow some kind of a humanitarian aid or a ceasefire? What will happen?
So considering the...
So what is the ruling, interim ruling of ICJ?
Sir, I am not aware of the exact ruling that the ICJ has given out, but there is charges are being put on the Israel by the South Africa that it has caused genocide in the.
That is long past. Now we have a ruling, interim ruling of ICJ on these issues.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the exact ruling.
Mm-hmm. So the performance of Discoms in Delhi has improved better. There was a period when there was power outage for hours together. But the situation in Delhi has improved drastically over the years. What has led to this change?
Sir, the government has provided a lot of push towards the Discoms through their schemes, through their bonds, so that their AT&C losses could be reduced. So there has been significant improvement in in that regard, which has come down to the national average. Also, there is also the point of privatization of the electricity. So much more private players have been which have brought in their efficiency along.
Have you heard something called India Stack, which India is offering to other developing countries? What is this India Stack all about?
So the India Stack is a setup or a set of technologies that the India has developed.
What kind of technologies?
Sir, it has integrated technologies so that.
What are the components of this India Stack, which India is boasting itself and which it is offering to other developing countries?
Sir, there are 3 layers to this. The first is the identification layer, so wherein the Aadhaar is used for the identification of the people. And second, there is the integration of sorry sir, I'm not able to get the exact.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anupam, you are from Delhi, so if you are made police commissioner of Delhi,
Sir.
what will be your priorities in solving problems of Delhi as a policeman?
Sir, the first would be the safety of women. The second would be the rising road accidents. The third would be the drug menace near the college.
So, road accident.
Yes.
What will you do as police commissioner?
So, firstly, I would try to promote the idea of the better infrastructure, such as the choke points that the Delhi has, wherein there are bottlenecks and there are multiple accidents that happen. Secondly, the street lighting is also inadequate at certain places. So that also needs to be checked, especially because the accidents occur at night. The third would be the idea of ensuring that the patrolling is done at adequate intervals so that the offenders are quickly nabbed and brought to justice.
So, traffic jams, according to you, is a lesser problem than road accident.
Sir, actually, I was trying to refer to the bottlenecks that try to bring in jam, and therein the collisions happen and the road rage happens.
Anupam, you are production and industrial engineer. Have you visited any industry? Have you seen any running industry in reality?
I'm sorry, sir. No.
Then you have theoretical knowledge. So tell me, trade unions. How important are trade unions in any industrial environment?
So the trade unions are the groupings of the people working in the organization. So they act as the medium to put forward the demands of the workers towards the management, and they try to bring us symmetry or an organization through an organized effort. So they help in putting the demands of the workers, such as the wages or the working conditions. All these.
Do they affect productivity? Trade unionism activities?
Yes, sir. There have been both positives and negatives. They can.
So what step government has taken to check loss of productivity in industries?
Sir, as far as I can recollect, last year there was a legislation regarding the entry into the union trade unions.
Anything about labor laws?
Yes, sir. In the year 2020, labor laws have been also been.
All right. Let's talk of Badminton. Saina Nehwal versus PV Sandhu. Who do you rate a better badminton player and why?
Sir, only strictly from the current form, I would prefer PV Sindhu as a better player due to her attacking abilities and a much more stronger defense. But I would never rule out the contribution of Saina Nehwal because she was the first woman badminton player.
Technically, who is stronger?
So tactically, PV Sindhu is a little bit gains a little bit edge than Saina Nehwal.
All right. One last question. Yesterday was Gandhiji's death anniversary. So, which philosophies of Gandhiji you don't agree with in present times?
Sir, the first idea of ensuring only the rural and the handicraft technologies, because Gandhiji was against the idea of mass scale industrialization. So first, that could have impacted India's economy. Then secondly, on certain aspects, there is a debate whether the ideas of Gandhiji as sorry sir, I'm not able to really form.
No problem. Over
This is
to
one thing.
Good morning, Anupam.
Good morning, ma'am.
Anupam, Delhi, we have been discussing Delhi. It is unique in several ways. One of the ways, according to me, is that our highest pollution levels, and a lot is being done. For example, construction activities are stopped and vehicular pollution is also being taken care of, but that is not sufficient. And it happens every year. What more you think should be done, which is feasible and which should be done on a permanent basis so that this problem doesn't occur year after year?
Three things that come to my mind. Firstly, there is a need for greater push for electrical vehicles, which the government is doing through its EV policy. Second is to build a much more robust public infrastructure so that more and more people try to go through the metros and the DTC buses. And the third would be interstate coordination, because pollution is not a localized phenomenon, but it also affects the neighboring states also. So interstate coordination is also must be done.
Good, but these are all long-term measures. Can you suggest some shortcut measure, which can be done instantly apart from what is being done so as to bring down the level of pollution in Delhi?
Ma'am, one remedy that comes to mind is the IIT Madras report, wherein they said that the open sands near the footpaths contribute to approximately 17% of the ppm in the PM 2.5. So if that could be reduced by adequate watering and by concretizing the footpaths, so it would at least reduce the 17% PM 2.5.
You mentioned that biggest challenge, social challenge before Delhi is women's related issues and traffic also. But suppose when we are talking about safety of women, what do you think should be done? Because this is a problem peculiar to Delhi. So what should be done to ensure that women are safe in Delhi and they venture out freely in the night without any fear?
Well, multiple steps are required. Firstly, the public places should be open 24 hours so that there is a sense of security that the market is open and running and women can take shelter.
But do you think it is practical? Public places, markets open 24 hours?
Ma'am, the hotels could be given a license where they could run 24 hours. The places to stay or the shops that are run 24 hours. The 24/7 market is a very famous market. So these firstly it is required so that there is an adequate safety perception that she could rush towards anybody.
Tell me the points.
Yes, ma'am. Secondly, the self-defense practices that the government, Delhi Police is currently taking, they must be scaled up. The third idea is to ensure technology, the SOS technology, one button and the SOS is gone to the relatives. And lastly, there is also a need for much more sensitization at the school level only, because it is the unaware boys who are not aware how to treat girls with respect. So that is required.
You are a student of industrial engineering. Can you tell me the difference between industrial engineering and industrial design?
Now, the industrial design is much more related towards the scientific designing of the equipments, such as the chimneys or
any equipment. Designing is a part of any equipment, anything which is getting produced, made. My question is, in India, we do not give so much of importance to designing, I have seen in big multinationals also, industrial designers are not there. It is the engineers who are doing designing work. Do you agree with me? You are not aware of
I'm
it?
not aware. I'm sorry.
Okay. Let us go to international relations. Have you heard of UNRWA?
Yes, ma'am. It was recently news because its funding has been capped.
No, but what is UNRWA?
Ma'am, it is a United Nations Relief Works Agency which provides the rehabilitation.
Who has stopped the funding and why?
Israel and certain European countries such as France.
America also. Why?
Ma'am, the allegations have been put on UNRW that some of its officials or members were involved into the Gaza war against Israel. So that is.
So do you think at this time, in this situation where West Asia is going through this crisis, was it correct to stop the aid for Palestinians, refugees by American and European countries? What are your views on this?
Ma'am, to some extent it is correct because had it been not been taken such measures, so the funding that has been provided would have been diverted towards the extremism or the terrorism attack. So indirectly, Israel or US itself would have been funding the war. So to a certain extent, this is correct. However, in considering there should be a mechanism that it should be checked and reinstated in a very short time, so that if the allegations are correct, then rectification measures must be taken, and if they are wrong, then the funding should be reinstated as soon as possible.
Anupam, my last question, IITs have decided that they are not going to declare the top packages, in the placements. So what is the reason for this? How is it going to affect the students?
When the
Candidates, not exactly students, the candidates, prospective candidates.
And the primary reason is because there was a lot of competition and comparison that had occurred, which had put a lot of students into a state of depression that they are not being able to garner such top packages. Also, the idea of these propagating these views is also not very appropriate considering the factor that most of these packages are in the European countries, and considering the purchasing power parity, they are reduced almost at the same level as in India. Regarding the future applicants, it is highly unlikely that they would be disturbed by these facts, because most of the students that initially are attracted towards the IT are being attracted because of their research facilities and the new innovative products that they produce. So I believe it is a positive step and it is a very welcome.
Thank you, Anupam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, Anupam.
Good morning, sir.
You are a student of sociology, your optional subject.
Yes.
Okay. So if we talk about sex ratio, so why do we see regional variations?
So the regional variations for the sex ratio could be due to the migration, which is one of the major factors, especially regarding the women, because 80% of the factor are for the women. So this could be one of the major factors.
Any other factor or reason?
So the marriages that women take up, so they have to shift places. This could be one reason. And then there could be the cultural elements wherein certain, we see that it is lower in Rajasthan but higher in Kerala.
So talking about uniform civil code, there has been religious harmony in India since long time. So why do we need uniform civil code?
So the need for uniform civil code is primarily because of the certain cultural practices that are in certain religions or the certain tribes that do not allow the full development of the certain sections such as the women.
But don't you think it will affect the diversity of India?
Sir, bringing UCC should definitely be taken care by keeping in mind the diversity. But just to ensure the diversity, certain fundamental rights cannot be violated, such as their right to develop themselves, or such as the practices wherein the women are treated misappropriately. So that takes is fundamental rights are the priority, and then the diversity comes.
Okay, coming to economy. So our vision of Viksit Bharat in 2047. So what are the challenges?
So firstly, the issue of skill development of people is a big challenge in the economics scenario. Secondly, the global up and downs such as the Russia-Ukraine war and the Israel-Gaza, which disrupt the supply chain. Thirdly, this also impacts the investments of India because in the January month, we have seen a lot of outflow of FPIs. Apart from the economic sector, there are also certain challenges of ensuring that the equitable distribution of wealth in India is maintained, because many people believe that the newer projects only benefit the rich, and because the income equality is rising. So that is also a bit of concern. And lastly, the increasing the women labor's participation is also much needed to scale up the economy.
Okay. Indian economy is very resilient to global shocks also. But if you talk about India's stock market, it is very vulnerable to any news. Why so? Especially external news. For example, let's say Hindenburg report.
Sir, firstly, the stock market inherently is a volatile sector, because the investments are not there for a fixed time, so they can be withdrawn anytime they feel. Also, due to the market sentiment that sometimes the wrong information or the hype is created, so that also creates a vulnerability. And practices such as the Hindenburg practices of short selling are also create a certain level of vulnerability.
Okay. My last question, Anupam. What is Industrial Revolution 5.0 and how is it different from 4th Industrial Revolution?
So from what I can recollect is IR-4.0 was much more about the automation, and IR-5.0 is much more about machine-to-machine communication.
Good. So thank you, Anupam. I pass on to Chairman, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Anupam, we have asked quite a few questions
Yes,
from your DAF also.
Yes, sir.
But in case you think that something from your DAF has not been covered, you may ask me to ask a question.
Okay, sir. So regarding the service preferences, I was asked this question as to why Danix is preferred.
No, Anupam, you are slightly mistaken. We are still in the interview stage.
I'm sorry.
I'm just giving you an opportunity.
Okay, sir.
If you want another question from my side of your choice, subject will be of your choice
Okay, sir.
from the DAF, if any.
So any question regarding sociology?
Sociology. So tell me, social media in India, if I say that need more checkpoints than what they are today, how do you react to it?
Yes, sir. Considering the social media sphere, there is a rising use of AI, and we have also seen that the manipulated and the deepfakes that have been rising and causing even the political instability. So there does exist a need, and especially a rising need, to bring much more checks. So which could be done by ensuring that the social media regulators ensure a level of self-regulation.
Who are the social media regulators?
So the platforms that on which the people connect with one another. So these are, I'm extremely sorry, sir. So the social media intermediaries should have been said. The regulator too is.
So do we need a regulator?
Sir, we definitely need an overseer, but the idea of self-regulation is being
Who
proposed.
should regulate? The INB ministry in Government of India, or you think there could be another body or maybe a new legislation for this?
So the recent initiative of the fact-check units is a welcome step, and I think these should be instigated in a much more neutral and robust manner, so that they could check the misinformation propagated.
So Anupam, we close our interview now. You may proceed to the adjoining room for some time. We'll call you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So Anupam, we would like to know from you, how have you done today?
Sir, I think I've done pretty well from my previous experiences that I've had. There was a lot of fumbling in the previous experiences, and I was absolutely blank at certain points. There has been certain improvement. However, the fluency is still not there that I.
Is this your first UPSC
Yes, sir.
interview?
Yes, sir.
And you have taken few mocks, 2, 3, 4?
Yes,
How
sir.
many?
So this is the fourth mock.
4th mock. And one thing that you have improved is the fumbling.
Yes, sir.
All right.
A little bit, and the nervousness also has been toned down.
Your interview is when? 21st.
21st.
Time, Anupam.
Yes, sir.
Anupam, you are very bright. obviously IITians, and I asked this question also, you were not very, clear in why people go to IIT and people don't go to IIT. So, but IIT is a very promising career. So you are obviously very bright. Is it not? Only bright people get into it. अंदर आप मजाक करते होंगे आपस में कि अरे भाई कैसे आ गया पता नहीं, लेकिन बाहर वाले तो ब्राइट मानते हैं.
Sir, I've seen so many.
IAS में भी होता है, जब IAS में आदम कहते ये कैसे आ गया, वो कैसे आ गया. Anyway, so but we presume based on our system of recruitment or maybe selection that you are bright. That brightness was coming here also, showing here also, but you were not prepared very well. I think you're taking too many mocks and concentrating more on acquiring your, or maybe updating or adding your knowledge value to yourself. थोड़े दिन आप pause देखिए, है ना? मतलब it is, the problem doesn't lie with your the confidence level or whatever. The confidence level, whatever is there, low or high, is primarily, it is defined by your knowledge level. You had to say many no's. You had to retrace your steps many times. So, one is how mentally alert you are, the knowledge part. Current affairs, also you are slightly not well versed. Retracing your steps is indecisiveness. These are the personality traits that, UPSC would look into. So, the solution for all the things that I mentioned is to acquire more knowledge. So, update yourself on your DAF subjects very well, go very deep. I liked your answer on the question of Delhi solar panel. And later on, I was just analyzing, comparing with other, why you could not respond so well as that question. Number one, of course, knowledge. Number two was that you are good in straight questions. That theoretical होता है ना, बिल्कुल academic. But the moment एक टेढ़ा सा जरा सा कुछ आ गया या घुमा के आ गया, you were lost. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
इसको थोड़ा सा ठीक करो. टेढ़े चीज ही क्वेश्चंस को ही टेढ़ा बनाओ अपने लिए. स्ट्रेट मत बनाओ कि उसमें से निकल के कोई एक अजीब सा क्वेश्चन आएगा which will be related to that particular thing, but it will not be such a straight question. And there you have to pause, think, and then speak. Right? As of now, I can mention only this. So, initially also you were not good in choosing words. Why IAS or why civil services? Paying back to society. Father. Second part was okay. Why do you have to start paying back? You are a 25-year-old boy. You have to first position yourself in a place. You have to build your career first. And this is what you are here because of, for your career. Concentrate on that. Be realistic, be practical before the board. That's why I am looking for a very bright career in which this will be there, which you mentioned later on. Starting with paying to the society. So I did not ask because we have always have a time constraint. But थोड़ा ग्रेलिंग वाला अगर कोई बंदा होगा ना, वो कहेगा अरे IIT रह के तुम क्या पे बैक नहीं कर सकते? If you become a researcher, come out with a new model, आप स्टबल की प्रॉब्लम, बर्निंग की प्रॉब्लम खत्म कर दो, कितने लोग आपको जो है मानेंगे गॉड. You are paying back to the society in so many ways. Everyone is paying to the society. Don't bring that. It looks slightly थोड़ा आर्टिफिशियल सा लगता है, ठीक है ना. और भी चीज़ें हैं. स्पोर्ट्स पे भी यू डिड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन. आई रिपीटेड अगेन एंड अगेन. आप अगेन स्ट्रेट क्वेश्चन. Government is doing this. I was asking your view. What sports would you like to take up to get more and more medals? It was solely your view. आप गवर्नमेंट पे चले गए, गवर्नमेंट इज डूइंग दिस, और आपने ऐसे पकड़े पहले जो मतलब 12 साल में तो जो डेवलप्ड है उनकी बात नहीं कर रहे हो आप, जहाँ ज़्यादा मेडल मिल सकते हैं। फॉर इंस्टेंस आप हॉकी के लिए कहते हैं सर वी नीड टू रिवाइव हॉकी, वी हैव ऑलवेज बीन अ गोल्ड मेडलिस्ट। रेसलिंग में है हमारा, शूटिंग और वो राइफल शूटिंग जो भी है 5-7, और भी एक आध कबड्डी वाज अ गुड थिंग। सो दीज आर द एरियाज वे शुड कंसोलिडेट और ज़्यादा इम्प्रूव करें। स्विमिंग है, वी हैवंट बीन गेटिंग एनी मेडल्स। सो बट एंड योर व्यूज, you always came back, government is doing this, government is already doing it, government तो कोई बीच में हम लाए ही नहीं थे ना। तो क्वेश्चन को समझो, जो आपको आता है वो आप बोल रहे थे। ओके अनुपम, जस्ट थिंक अबाउट इट, यू हैव टाइम। ऑलराइट, लेट्स से अदर मेंबर्स।
अनुपम, आपका है कुछ थॉट प्रोसेस तो है, इंफॉर्मेशन है स्कैटर्ड, आप कुछ कुछ जानते हो, जैसे सर्विस मैटर में कुछ जानते थे, लेकिन इन डेप्थ नॉलेज नहीं है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्या कहा, कैसे रिलेशन होते हैं मिनिस्टर और ब्यूरोक्रेट के बीच, उन्होंने क्या कोई संग्राम सिंह या किसी जजमेंट के बारे में भी कहा होना चाहिए, हु शुड अपॉइंट। हमारी पूरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल स्कीम ऐसी काम करती है, द मिनिस्टर्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू द लेजिस्लेचर, लेजिस्लेचर इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल अकाउंटेबल टू द पीपल, तो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैव टू वर्क अलॉन्ग विद द मिनिस्टर। तो उनकी क्या रिलेशनशिप होनी चाहिए, उसमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट का बहुत बड़ा डिबेट हुआ था। तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्या कहा, सरकार ने क्यों एक्ट ले आई, इस काउंसिल और उसमें क्या अंतर है, चीफ मिनिस्टर को भले ही चेयरमैन बना दिया, उसकी क्या उसमें है, 2 सेक्रेटरी को डाल के उन्होंने क्या किया है। फैक्चुअल तो होना चाहिए ना, एनालिसिस क्या पूरा है बताया आपने, ये सारी चीजें होना चाहिए। कुछ एक समरी फॉर्म में, स्कैटर्ड थॉट तो अलग है, इंफॉर्मेशन इधर उधर से कुछ बताना, बट टू पुट इट इन अ फॉर्म ऑफ अ ऑर्डरली प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ दैट इंफॉर्मेशन इज मोर रिक्वायर्ड। सिमिलरली जैसे हुआ था ये सोशल मीडिया की बात, क्या होना चाहिए, पहले कहा आपने ये रेगुलेटर है, फिर कहा इंटरमीडियरी है, फिर कुछ और कुछ कहा, फिर कहा कि सेल्फ रेगुलेशन होना चाहिए। तो सरकार क्या कह रही है, किसको कैसे रेगुलेट करेगी, कैसे बना रही है, डिजिटल इंडिया एक्ट क्या कहता है, कुछ उन चीज़ों पे विस्तार डाल सकते थे। देयर वाज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर यू तो गिव मोर कॉम्प्रहेंसिव व्यू, लार्जर पिक्चर देखो किसी भी चीज़ का। तो इससे क्या होगा, इस पे पार्लियामेंट में डिबेट हुई थी, वो देखो, इस पर दिल्ली सर्विस मैटर पे क्या क्या इतना बढ़िया डिबेट हुआ था। ऑल द बेस्ट।
Thank you so much.
Anupam, your personality is very good. Your confidence level is very good. Communication, no problem at all. Now, when it comes to specific issues, police commissioner point, you could have thought about it. What are the problems? Why police image is bad? You know, why women-centric issues attract so much of that is a very bad publicity for police also. So you picked up one item was good, but then use of technology and redressal of public grievances, that is think about it. I am not saying what you should say, but whatever you should say should make sense. So that is one advice. Then trade unions and labor laws, because you are industrial engineer, so you should know production, productivity, impact of trade unions. Are they always negative, or it's also positive, right? And when we talk of trade unions, we can't avoid talking of labor laws. Why are they still hanging? Why is it still not? It has not come in force. What was the need for labor laws? To improve productivity. Foreign companies at times, ask government to improve ease of doing business through labor laws. So थोड़ा सा उसको भी देखिएगा. Then सानिया and संधू, वो ठीक था. And philosophies of Gandhiji. Think about there are so many his schemes of Swadeshi or rural India. Even there you can connect, whether we can become a developed economy with those philosophies. So philosophies are good for maybe some philosophies for some period of time, but not all philosophies for all period of times. So थोड़ा सा उसको देख लेना. You were all right in your reply. What I am saying is broaden your horizon, right? So wish you all the best. You have very good personality. Just go little deeper into. So philosophy का भी मतलब go deeper into Gandhian philosophy.
Thank you, sir.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Anupam, you came across as a very honest, sincere, and humble person. You know, these are your plus points of your personality. You are not showing any anxiety at all. But your knowledge base needs to be strengthened. And you have to come to the point. For example, when I'm talking about pollution, you are talking about the things, as Honorable Chairman has mentioned just now, what will happen after 10 years, you know. Then I have to stop you in between, tell me short-term measures, and you are not prepared for it. Right? So you have to strengthen your knowledge base. Similarly, you know, common sense questions. Usme problem. Anybody can say what is the difference between industrial design and industrial engineering. Design is designing the component and engineering is finally making it. In India, we have not much study of industrial design except in IIM Ahmedabad. So the students have to, you know, if they want to pursue industrial design after graduation, after school, they have to go abroad to study. Even in big companies like HMT, there is no branch of designing. It is the engineers who are doing the designing. Whereas in Europe and America, even for a paste company, you know, toothpaste company, they have designers. So that was my question. You should have applied your common sense because you have studied industrial engineering. So what I'm saying is strengthen your current affairs, strengthen your knowledge base of all subjects, come to the point, and your personality is just excellent. You will do it. Okay? I wish you all the best.
So, as far as my questions are concerned, you were good. आपने अच्छा किया ओवरऑल. बाकी आप कंटेंट पे काम करते रहिए. ठीक है. एक दूसरा छोटा सा पॉइंट, गुड मॉर्निंग एंड थैंक यू आपको 5 बार बोलने की जरूरत नहीं इंडिविजुअली. आप एक बार चेयरमैन सर को एंड एक बार मैम को बोल दीजिए. ट्वाइस इज इनफ, है ना. 5 बार करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है. बाकी आपको और इतने मॉक्स देने की जरूरत नहीं है, कंटेंट की जरूरत है, क्योंकि पर्सनालिटी और कम्युनिकेशन आपकी अच्छी है. बस अभी कंटेंट में आपको इन डेप्थ जाना है थोड़ा सा. एंड थोड़ा सा आप आंसर देने से पहले सोच लो 4-5 सेकेंड. इट वुड हेल्प. थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर हो जाएगा आपका. आता तो है पर स्ट्रक्चर नहीं हो रहा है आपका. तो आप रेलिवेंट पॉइंट्स नहीं बोल रहे हो, इर्द गिर्द जा रहे हो एक्चुअली कोर इशू के. वो आप देख लो थोड़ा.
Thank you.
सर,
Many questions from your side?
No, sir. Thank you so much.
So Anupam, just to, one is feeling a little, heavy to see such a bright boy, not following the approach. What I suggest is, you make out questions on your DAF subjects. दिल्ली के 10-12 subjects, topics, questions बना लो. ना, आपसे माननीय सदस्य ने पूछा कि दिल्ली की प्रॉब्लम सबसे बड़ी है, तो आपने एक्सीडेंट, कमिश्नर के रूप में एक्सीडेंट बोला. आई हैव बीन स्टेइंग इन दिल्ली फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 15 years. एक्सीडेंट्स पर्सनल को आईटी का वो क्रॉस करते हुए, रोड क्रॉस करते हुए भले ही हो जाए, लेकिन कोई ऐसे एक्सीडेंट्स नहीं दिल्ली में देखते कि रोज ऐसे हाईवेज पे ज़्यादा होते हैं. आपने कहा भी ट्रैफिक इज़ नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, ट्रैफिक इज़ अ बिगर इशू. तो आप दिल्ली के इश्यूज को अगर आप, इट वाज ऑन द स्पॉट थिंकिंग बाय यू. Your every smile says that what we are saying is right. अनुपम,
Yes, sir.
तो इसको करो जरा, है ना. मैं बिल्कुल अपने पर्सनल लेवल पे देख रहा हूँ, कोई ऐसा नहीं है. अब नाउ दैट वी आर इन गिविंग द फीडबैक, हम लोगों का यही प्रयास रहता है कि आप जितने अच्छे से अच्छे मार्क्स यहाँ से निकल के लेके आओ, अच्छा है. तो हमारी भी सक्सेस उसी में ही है. वी फील प्राउड इन सेइंग कि अनुपम टॉपर हमारे यहाँ से इंटरव्यू कर गए. ये करो क्वेश्चन के आंसर. ऐसे दिल्ली के बाद यू मेक आउट फॉर अदर सब्जेक्ट्स ऑल्सो. उस समय क्या होगा कि एक सोचने की इतनी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. क्विकली इमीडिएटली कम. देयर कैन बी अ क्वेश्चन, दिल्ली की व्हाट आर द मेजर प्रॉब्लम्स, 1 2 3 4. राइट 4 लाइन्स ऑफ ईच जो आप बोलोगे वहाँ पे, है ना। उस समय ना तो आप एस्ट्रे जाओगे, ना आप, यू विल बी फोकस्ड, एंड दैट वे यू कैन मेक एज मेनी क्वेश्चन एज यू वांट। कौन रोकता है आपको? करंट अफेयर्स पे भी बना लो, इंटरनेशनल भी बना लो, इट विल प्रिपेयर यू फॉर अ गुड इंटरव्यू। आप मेन में जाते हो, याद करके जाते हो ना। यहाँ पे ये मत सोचना IIT के, मैं अक्सर IIT बच्चों को कहता हूँ, अरे अनुपम तुम्हारे, अरे IITian हो, वहाँ जाके बैठोगे अपने आप सब कुछ निकलता आएगा तुम्हारे, वो फीलिंग मत लगना। इट्स अ डिफरेंट गेम ऑल टुगेदर, राइट। तो वी आर जस्ट, आपको हम एक जैसे ना वो अलार्म हिला रहे हैं कि भाई जग जाओ, दिन है आपके पास बहुत, क्योंकि इसमें जो डिफरेंस आएगा ना आपका, इट विल हेल्प यू विद द रैंक्स। ओके, वी हैव गिवन यू 63% टुडे,
173.
so but you are capable of much more, you know. We have liked your personality, और थोड़ा एनर्जी भी लाओ, कम्युनिकेशन थोड़ा सा लाउड करो अपने, ठीक है। आई थिंक वी हैव गिवन यू इनफ थिंग्स ऑन योर प्लेट, तो अब आप उसको एक एक करके यू डील विद देम।
So, अनुपम, हम भी IIT के, IIT दिल्ली लॉन्ग टाइम बैक, so we would like to see, you know, IITians doing very well. Do well. Work on all these issues.
Yes, definitely, sir.
Thanks.
All the best.
All the best.
अनुपम, यमुना पे बहुत बातचीत चल रही है आजकल, यमुना पोल्यूशन पे, उसको पढ़ लेना।
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, काफी उसके ऊपर कंट्रोवर्सी सी चल रही है, देख लेना।
वो भी प्रॉब्लम ही आ जाएगी। You should
you are
identify.
identifying the problems.
गिनी चुनी है पैनल को, दिल्ली के बारे, पैनल तो बाहर से भी आता है, दिल्ली के बारे में कितना पता होगा, बट द चेयरपर्सन वुड नो, यू नो, व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स। तो थोड़ा सा इस पे और ध्यान दो, कंसंट्रेट करो आप, है ना। ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट।
Thank you so much.